Hey, this is Black Woman 7 here, and today I'm going to be doing sort of a speculation video regarding the potential rule set for VGC 18. So, this is not like sort of like the championship structure format. I'm actually talking about the actual rule set that what mons be potentially viable and available and also viable. I'm not going to say which cores and like outperform the other, but I'll look into some like battle spot and doubles statistics and usage. So that said, get right into it. So regarding the VGC 18, technically speaking, the format's already started, but we won't have an official change until like I think around the next year. So once 2018 hits, and of course when Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon launch in just like I think it's about like 2 months from now, so less than 2 months by November 17th. So we won't know until what's in those games, but by then we'll probably do. So this video might sound like a little bit premature, so you could bear with me, and also the whole speculation part. So yeah, but a lot of this will be I'll just try to base this off of like usage stats and trends we've seen throughout the season, especially from battle spot doubles. Now, the reason why I mentioned battle spot doubles a lot is because over the years, like we've had every like I'd say every year we've always had sort of a cycle in the sense that we had a format where it's based off of the regional decks with VGC 17 with 17 being the regional decks for Sun and Moon. We also had this for I think in XY with VGC 14, and of course in VGC 11 with the Unova only Pokemon. So that's when that's when like the genies and all the other mons were just running rampant. So yeah. In regards to what I was looking through, there was this article I came across. I think this is based off of Professor Shroom's article from his blog. So here he details greatly about like the potential VGC like 18 format, or like what he thinks it would be. Though I think it's like he admits like I think on Twitter that it's like this is an assumption based off of whether they have their move tutors, because that's a huge thing as well. Whether move tutors will be allowed in VGC 18. By the way, this is not an official source for Pokemon, but it's just speculation proposed as he says in the title. So yeah. He also makes highlight of what he mentioned here. Another thing he mentions here is how all the whether or not like Pokemon from like with the Pentagon decks or Pentagon with the Pentagon symbol, sorry about that, with the Pentagon symbol, will those Pokemon be viable or allowed in the Alola decks, or well in Alola Gen 7 games? And that's a very interesting question to pose, because that pretty much like in theory that would cut off a lot of VGC like viable Pokemon, like Hyper Voice, Gardevoir, Mance, and Sylveon. Even though they got a little nerfed, but they're still viable in a way. Of course, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon will probably, and it depends on whether they do or not. Whether they introduce move tutors, because a lot of this speculation I'm about to do, and his speculation, I'll link this in the description, is based off what if they didn't include like the move tutors and what you add these mons in. Here I'm just going to talk about like what I think would likely happen if it just happened. Well, not likely, but like what would we see with these mons and their like with their move tutors, like Ice Punch, Hyper Voice, helping that be more prevalent. So here, let's talk about some of the mons. As you can see, the first one, you guys kind of already know this one. for those who play VGC, I think we probably know this. And by the way, I'm not talking about like these are like Pokemon that we haven't seen at all since like for an entire year, almost a year, like probably 8 months. I think the big one here is Kangaskhan. Now Kangaskhan, like for 3 years, even though it didn't technically win in like VGC like 14, but it dominated 15 and 16. It was still consistent. It was like the most consistent Mega to use. It was probably the best Pokemon Mega broken thing. Whether or not you think that's broken or not, that's your opinion. But to me, it was. But you kind of have to use it at the time. So yeah, it's one of the most like strongest Pokemon in the format for those 3 years, and with good reason, since you had like a very powerful support set, but Doubt, Return, Sucker Punch, and like either Power Up Punch just to, or Low Kick, or even Ice Punch just to like for coverage. The thing is, this generation Kangaskhan got nerfed because now the second hit, the Parentalon before it used to be like half the damage of the original attack. So it's kind of like if you do like, let's say I do like 100%, like or like 100 to a certain target, then I do like 50. It won't be like exact damage, but like let's say like I do like 50%, then I do like 25% to my opponent. But Kangaskhan hits really hard. And then not only that, you have a Power Up Punch, which pretty much is like Pseudo Source Sense. Now the thing is, like, now big question is, since all in the Pokemon Sun and Moon, they technically removed Power Up Punch in Sun and Moon, I think. So what's gonna happen is this: if they don't include a Power Up Punch, then Kangaskhan will be severely neutered. Especially if, I know like in Battle Spot, like they have like Power Up Punch, but if they don't have it, then they're gonna have to like they're gonna use obviously Low Kick just to like, for the immediate fighting attack, but they're not gonna be able to. I think the big thing is that with Parental Bond being nerfed, they're basically like these mons are like, this mon itself is just like not as strong as it used to be. Even like Sucker Punch got like a nerf, so. Like, I think you can clearly tell that Game Freak try to nerf this Pokemon as best they can. So, whether or not Power Punch is a move tutor is, I don't know. I don't know whether or not Kangaskhan will be good or not, as it could for Mega, because even then, like, we don't even know if Megas are allowed for VGC 18. That's like whether that's another thing. So, if Kangaskhan is allowed, then expect it to be around soon. One thing I forgot to mention is this usage stats, but this is like from Smuggin, based off Battle Spot Double, so it's pretty much more. I'm not so sure how many people play this, so let me just check. Battle Spot Doubles. Where is Battle Spot Double? Oh, there it is. Alright, let's go here. I think this is like overall. So as you can see, here are the Pokemon for Battle Spot Doubles. You can clearly see like this is probably like overall. So you see Landorus, Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, Tapu Lele, Cresselia, Heatran, Aegislash, Kangaskhan, Charizard Y, Tapu Bulu, and this is like, these are all the Pokemon that you notice. These are all like the higher up echelon Pokemon, like, you know, the legendaries or whatever. So then you have Rogus, Rage Powder, so Zapdos, Elements, Rain, Sand, whatever. So over here we have a usage stats for the Season 5 of Battle Spot Doubles as well. As you can see, as you clearly see, these Pokemon are around the same. So, like, they're around the same places, but different, like, rankings. So, as you can clearly see, these are Pokemon that have definitely gained a lot of usage. Like, you see Metagross, Salamence, Colo. You see Rain right here. to make a Gengar with Sagat, so that's another combo that you see, that you potentially see. Arcanine's still viable, though the thing is, with Heatran all around, you're likely gonna see Tran and Char Y, like, just, especially Heatran, just dominate. Charizard Y, I'm not so sure how Charizard Y will do, given how Tapu Koko itself is like a really good fast check. Not to mention Scarf Landorus, whether it hits a Lock Rock slide or not. So, but yeah, there's like a lot of Pokemon that you have to consider. And then, like, not to mention like all threats of VGC 17. So, yeah. So regarding like the speculation, so looking at these Pokemon, you see here, you have Landorus with pretty much your standard bread and butter set: Earthquake, Rock Slide, U-turn, Power, Super Power, and obviously it's gonna have Intimidate. It's like it's the best Intimidate user in the game, in both singles and in doubles. And as you can see, one interesting thing about Landorus in Battle Spot doubles and also in doubles OU or whatever, or whenever every format that's like allowed it in the doubles format, it has access to Ground Team, which is very, very scary when you consider that this Pokemon has a 145 attack stat. So basically, it could just nuke something down like a Heatran or H-Slash or Metagross, as you can see here. If people already thought that dealing with temporary H Garchomp was bad enough, this thing's also going to be like, well, we're not bad enough. Like, this thing's also going to be another threat list. So. But I expect Scarf, AV, and Band just to be popular. So I want to see H-Slash because I want to talk about it. H-Slash, I'm very surprised that H-Slash wasn't in Lola, or well, technically it was in the that little thing like you do the depth scan and the island scan. I think that's what you call it. But, well, regardless, I think if this Pokemon would have been like in legal, it would have been very, very good. So, but regarding this, you see like its standard bread and butter set with King Shield, with Sub King Shield or White Guard. I think this is kind of like adopting like a white. Like you would see like it's like weakness policy and like ghost teams. Oh, now people are running ghost teams in. So I'm assuming that's pretty much since H-Slash has like that 150 special attack just to like nuke down a certain target, like Cresselia, because that they could do that. So another Pokemon I want to talk about is Charizard. Charizard is just as popular in Battle Spot doubles with Heat Wave, Subtle Beam as your typical set protect. Then you have your option of a single target, Fire Move, and Flamethrower, Overheat, Tailwind, Hidden Power, Hidden Fire, Fire Ground, the Charwai, that's fun. Hidden Power Ground or Ice for either a Dragon or a Heatran. Then you have the Pledges. So, yeah. These are the Pokemon that are like seen together. So you see Landorus, Cresselia, Aegislash, Coco. One interesting thing to note is that if we're gonna get like a VGC 18 format with like a national dex, like what I mean by national dex, I mean like with everything included, bar like the legendaries and event Pokemon, then expect the Tapus to be around because terrains have just been a major factor in like the current VGC, and I don't think that's gonna ever. I think the thing is like the Tapus, I compare them to like the Genies because the fact that they bring terrain, and terrain just gives you a lot of control of the battlefield. It's just so good. Like if you think about it, Feeny and Coco both will prevent sleep, which pretty much makes like things like Smeargle like completely useless. Oh yeah, side note, Smeargle doesn't have Dark Void, so that's always a good thing. So, or can't even use Dark Void, so that's like funny. So these guys, Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, Tapu Fini, and also Tapu Bulu. Where's Tapu Bulu in this? It's all the way here. Let's see what he pairs. Yeah, like all these Pokemon, like Peachum, Mega Mawile, Tyranitar, these are Pokemon that are weak to ground. So having this guy around just to weaken ground moves or Earthquake is amazing as well. Huh. His moveset's quite varied if you ask me. So, though I think we'll see more like differentiations or differentiations from that once we get like into the format and once we see like a wider move pool. So let's see Mawile. So Mawile, of course, it did get nerfed with Sucker Punch getting like 10 points down, but now that this guy has a new partner, Oranguru, damn, Oranguru Mawile looks. Actually, Oranguru Mawile looks kind of scary if you ask me. Like, not like before, like I would think, especially if all you have to do is just like play rough one slot and play up the other slot. It's like that alone is actually scary. So, then again, Mawile's always been good. Oh yeah, we can't talk about VGC like without talking about Cresselia. So, Cresselia, the queen of VGC itself. The Space Moonduck of whatever. Perfect team for Ultrasonic. Pretty much like the best Trick Room setter. Has Psychic. Well, probably does. Ice Beam, Icy Wind. Toxic. Toxic has been a thing that's been on Cresselia since like I think it's early VGC, like it's late VGC 15, because like everyone tried to counter CM Cresselia, and one of the ways they did it was like, or check it was to put Toxic so it's on its timer. So yeah, but I don't know how effective that would be. Well, then again, it's levitating. I forgot about that. So like this drain's not gonna affect it. So this thing could sort of be put to sleep. So that's you see, most of them are modest and bold or calm. Citrus Berry, Psyche MZ. I think Psyche MZ is for practically just to set up Trick Room, even if you're taunted. Because the thing about Z moves, which another thing I totally forgot about in this discussion, and that's speculation, is that like Cresselia in of itself is like the thing with Z Trick Room is that you could just even if they taunt you or if you're on coordinates or something, you can bypass that and just go for a Z Trick Room, and then you also have an accuracy increase. So I don't know what moves that Cresselia has that could just take advantage of it. And not to mention, I almost completely forgot about Terrain Seeds. So let me go to this slot here. Zapdos, like I think lately, like especially in Battle Split doubles or Battle and doubles OU, we've seen it with like these Terrain Seeds. Not terrain extenders like Misty Seed or Psychic Seed, but you're kind of expect Zapdos to have like either these, and not to mention the Agua, not to mention the 50% berries like Agua Berry, because those are really good buffs that nerf Zapdos. Given now it has access to items that increase its longevity even further, aside Roost, like an extra 25% HP, even though it has to reach that benchmark, but it's still good recovery. Like everyone's kind of limited how like good 50% berries were in like VGC, in the current VGC, like how game-changing it was, especially when it gave like Snorlax really new and Mutt new life. I don't know if I'm wrong because it just pretty much came up warm up there, garbage. But okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Zapdos, I can see this thing being viable. I can even see this thing be like a Tailwind set again, then both Tailwind and Ice and like Bruce or something. I don't know, or even Heat Wave. So. Then I have these guys here. It should be noticed, these are the Hyper Push spammers. And even though they got weakened in power, they're still really relatively strong. Like Gardevoir is still one of like the strongest like fairy type users in the game. So it'll have a lot of competition when you're dealing with all these the fairies and Feeny, Coco, Lele, especially Lele, because like Lele, Gardevoir and Lele are pretty much the same thing. You have the same typing, though Lele just hits a lot harder. So, but yeah. So Gardevoir, the thing with Gardevoir is that I'm not so sure how it'll do because like there's also a lot of new steel types like Kartana and Celesteela. Then you have to consider those Ultra Beasts as well because like Gardevoir ain't gonna like enjoy facing them like as much as maybe Charlie will. So like so I guess Sylveon is kind of like in the same boat because like yeah, Hyper Voice spam is cool. It'll have access to those 50% berries for Sylveon just to get like to use with like a calm mind up 50 Agua berry set or with Hyper Voice when you found, but like I don't know about that. So then we have Mence, which I don't know where I see Mence in this format. It could be really good or really bad, but I think it's gonna be really good. So I'm not gonna doubt it. Like I could easily, assuming if noob tutors are allowed, we could easily see like a mixed set with Hyper Voice, a Double Edge, Flamethrower. I think this was common in like VGC, like VGC 15 with Japan Sand and like VGC 16 as well. But that's when we had all the not the Ubers. Well, yeah, technically. They're called the restricted legendaries, which are like, the copper legendaries you would see. But I could easily see like a mix set being viable, or like even like a Dragon Dance set. But like I said, like the big issue here is like these three right here, Feeny, Lele, and Coco are gonna give like especially Coco and Feeny, because those two alone just kind of like they check Mence hard, like offensively speaking at least. Like I might see people consider running things like I don't know, double like Edge with helping hand user just to be able to take out Feeny or something. I don't know. So, but yeah, I think Meds, like, especially when it has the fact that it still has Intimidate, it'll still be good, and Aerial Aid is good enough. So yeah. In terms of like some of the other mons that we haven't seen in a while, Tyranitar, Azu, Escadrille, Rotom. I swear to God, this might alone be a team. But then again, it's probably a very, very bad attempt at it. So, Tyranitar. So we haven't had Tyranitar at all in this format. Well, we haven't had a Tyranitar ever since, well, technically 16, but 16, like, with all the Ubers and with all the weather going on, like, Tyranitar was kind of like toothless, and then now it just was gone. It was replaced by Gigalith, so I still think Gigalith will get, like, usage, just because Tyranitar has a lot of weaknesses, and Gigalith just has, like, a couple. Well, not a couple, but I think several. Well, like, and it's not, like, weak to, like, Fairy, which is very important. So this Tyranitar set, Tyranitar could just get picked off away. So, in terms of sets, I still think, like, we might see Mega Tyranitar with Rock Slide, Dragon Dance, or Ice Punch, or Choice Scarf. I don't know about, like, Choice Scarf Tyranitar, because the problem with Choice Scarf Tyranitar is, like, Tapu Koko, like, let me see. Move over Raikou, no one likes you. Tyranitar. The thing with Tyranitar and Tapu Koko is that I know Tapu Koko is a lot faster if you run like max speed. Like, especially, I forgot to put this at level 50. So let me just put this. Alright. So just put this. Obviously Tapu Koko's faster, but if you multiply it by 1.5, it's like, it's not even fast enough to outpace Coco, and Coco can easily just like kill it, so. Well, it won't kill it, but like, it definitely outpaces it, which is bad, so. Like, we just go for Dazzling Gleam, or like, which I would think is like, or like a Z, Barium Z Dazzle or something like that. So Tyranitar is kind of in a very awkward spot, especially given how Z moves like the Ultra Beast. Oh yeah, and also Paramosa and like Buzzroar are just gonna. Buzzroar is just gonna be like Buzzroar's gonna look at that and see Tyranitar as food. It's literally just gonna drink its armor and just drink its like blood in its armor and just destroy it from there, or just flex with a superpower. So I don't know about Tyranitar, but I still think it'll be there. Escadrille will be viable for sure, just because like just having like again like the option of Z ground, so ground Z earthquake or drill run is really good. So Rotom, I think it'll be good or somewhat decent. Now we have access to the Figgy Berries for 50% berries like Agawok, Figgy Berry, and all that stuff. So the real problem with Rotom now is that with Tapu Fini, kind of replacing it as like the bulky water type. I don't know if we're going to see a Wisp T-Wave set, you know, like Wisp T-Wave Hydro Pump and Thunderbolt set, or are we going to see this being more offensively based now, which I think we might see it be more offensive. But that's something I just don't know how it'll be, so the Rotom will definitely, I think the Rotom will see a usage, but I just like it as a bulkier spread. But I'm not so sure exactly how good it'll be, so. Then we get to like things like Volcarona. And I think Volcarona is going to benefit greatly, especially if Z-moves are allowed. Since Z-moves now, the thing with Z-moves is that like Volcarona is definitely going to be one of the best users of the Z-moves, aside like maybe Landorus and Excadrill. Like, let me see. Like, even Zapdos and Heatran, so. The thing with Volcarona is that you could set up and just go for a Firium Z and just cook something up, or like that set's also popular in like Quiver Dance. Firium Z is also popular in like singles, but I don't know how much it'll be. But then again, Volcarona is gonna be really good this season, just because I have access to like an immediate Z move option. Hydreigon, the thing with Hydreigon that I've noticed is that people use Dark EMZ just to be able to knock out things like H-Slash and Cresselia before they set up a Trick Room. But I'm not so sure how like Dark EMZ would be its thing, because the thing is like you have these berries running around, not to mention like 3 of them now, Lele, Coco, and Fini just running around, so yeah. And we haven't really talked much about these guys, so let's look. Like, we've seen Tapu Fini a lot, so Misty Surge, obviously. Most of them are bold, are modest, then bold, and trunks. Specs, Wiki, Figgy Berry. Well, doesn't really have Figgy Berry, but 50% berry, so Wiki Berry, Ayapa Berry, Mago Berry, Agua Berry, so most of these sets are kind of like, some of these look like, okay, these are setup based, so this one's Sesame CM Fini, and then you have like Specs Fini, so Specs Fini did win Worlds, so I expect Ice Beam to be used a lot more, because that set's really, if you gotta think about it, that Specs Ice Beam set from pre-order was actually pretty good, and how like, just allows him to immediately outkill Garchomp if he needs to, or like give him better option than Hulu, so. Then you have your Haze sets right there, so. Yeah, Tapu EMZ, Tapu Zang. And then like that. One Pokemon I want to talk about is a Mungus, because the Mungus is definitely like, even though I kind of waited on this guy last, thing is, you can see like, Among Us is pretty much, yeah, now you see these berries here. All these berries here. Vicky Berry. I think it's like, kind of adds up, this adds up to what, 5%, 8%, like 13, 14%, I don't know. So. And you have the Citrus Berry, so. The thing with like Among Us is that Among Us kind of walls, like, it can wall like Tapu Koko and Tapu Fini and Tapu Bulu. Though the problem with that is, with Tapu, like, they kind of cancel each other out because one of its best moves is Spore. And the fact that it can't spore things or grounded stuff is going to be very huge because now, well, I don't know, it can still spore Cresselia and Landorus, but I would expect Amogus to be paired with Lele a lot more, or Bulu. Well, mostly Lele, because like just sporing to allow Lele to just pick off things will be really good. So, the reason why I say Lele is because Tapu Koko and Tapu Fini both have like terrains that pretty much hamper Amogus from like going for the status. So, Tapu Koko's electric terrain prevents Pokemon from going to sleep, while Tapu Fini prevents Mons from going. Prevents like Mons from like being status from anything. So that's already huge if you ask me. And you could see like its attacking moves based off of whatever it feels like. Foul Play, Clear Smog. Clear Smog, I definitely see this being more viable. Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Energy Ball. So, yeah. As you can see, Pelipper has gone like increased usage because I think it's the better range setter in doubles compared to Politoed. Though I do think Politoed's still good. But as you can see, it has Hurricane. Another Pokemon we haven't seen a lot is Kingdra. I think Kingdra will be even more scarier now just because it can just use Quaternium's Hydro Pump. And also, another underrated Pokemon we haven't touched on, I just noticed these two. These three in the back. So let me just talk about these three. So, Swampert. Swampert now has now it can use its speed immediately, so Mega Swampert is going to be a huge threat. It actually can kind of deal with Tapu Koko really decently, so. Like, it has Waterfall, it has coverage it needs for whatever, but like, it has Waterfall, Earthquake, Ice Punch, that makes Zero Power, so has enough. Rock Slide for Chartwise, so yeah. Let's go to, there's another Pokemon I want to talk about. Where is it? Metagross. Given that Metagross also is another Pokemon that benefits from its immediate speed boost from the Mega, so this is assuming that Megas are allowed, so now you're going to see Metagross and Tapu Lele paired together, and that's already scary as hell, if you ask me, because that would boost up Metagross' Zen Headbutt, which is already boosted its Tough Calls even further by like 50%, so that thing is going to hit like a truck. Then you have its standard moves like Iron Head, Ice Punch, Meteor Mash, Bullet Punch, Hammer Arm, Earthquake, Rock Punch. This is pretty much standard. And then another move that you forgot is like that is seen as like I think it's Substitute. So yeah. So definitely Metagross will be a threat because it's like one of the Pokemon that can actually kind of muscle its way around the Tapus, if you ask me. It could definitely muscle past Tapu Fini, Tapu Lele, and then not to mention Landorus, and especially the fact that it can still protect itself initially with the Clear Body before Megas, just because of how switching mechanics are. And then we forgot one last Pokemon, Gengar. So Gengar, well, we didn't see Gengar a lot this season. Oh god, oh my god. Really? People are still doing that? That's funny. Oh my god, I just had to stop. Like, Dewgong, guys. Shoutouts to Dr. J. Thank you for making Dewgong viable. For continuing Perish Trap. Okay, so as I was saying, as you can see from based on the moveset, like, this is mostly based off of Perish Trap, Mega Gengar. As you can see, partners, Scrafty, Whimsicott, Politoed, Goth, Dewgong. I think it'll still be good. You're gonna have to prepare for this again, just saying. Though this might be a little bit troublesome because the fact is Tapu Koko can now like taunt the Gengar. It speed ties with it, so not to mention Z moves and the fact that it can actually kill Scrappy. So yeah, that's a big problem. So Shadow Ball, Sedge Bomb, Perish On, and Trick Room. That's weird. Destiny Dawn, obviously, to take a target. So, Gengar Knight is like set on 70% of the guys right now. So Gengar, like the thing is, Gengar, I definitely see it being used a lot more. Just like compared to like this season, just given how like how Shadow Tag is prevents Pokemon from being able to switch out. So expect that mon just to be able to pick things off one by one. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all about it. So I kind of just like went through most of the Pokemon. There's some other Pokemon with old faces like Porygon 2, Celesteela, and Mimikyu. I think Mimikyu. We can talk about Mimikyu for picks. I think, yeah, it's still like a Trick Room setter. So I feel like Mimikyu, like, I don't know what this thing can, like, the thing with Mimikyu is that I'm not so sure what can do against this thing. Because its disguise ability just easily just, like, allows it to, like, and it kind of walls it, semi-walls it if it doesn't attack, so I think we are going to expect a lot more defensive style Mimikyus. And then, of course, we can't talk about we have to talk about it in Snorlax. Snorlax is definitely a Pokemon that I think Mimikyu Lax is like one of the few cores that'll just stick around, maybe with AFK and Stack, just because like you have Trick Room and you belly drum up, you have immediate offense right there, and you can psych up and start picking things off. So I think Snorlax has a good partner in Salamence now, because Salamence actually can threaten these what do you say, like these the fighting types, like, you know, Boswell, Pheromosa. Though Pheromosa can just hit it back with an Ice Beam, so yeah. Yeah, that's about it, I want to say. Like, I'm not really going to go too much in speculation, so, like I said, this article, it's a good article to read, it's a good read. Like, but again, like, the guy even says, like, they don't even have, like, he makes the assumption that we might not have move triggers. And what I'm doing is, what I'm talking about is, like, what if they have move triggers? So, but yeah, so, this is, like, pretty much a standard chalk team. But I do think that there's, like, instead of Thundurus now, which I totally forgot about, like, Thundurus, like, I don't think we'll see much Thundurus usage, just given how Prankster kind of got nerfed now against dark types, and especially with Psychic terrain and in like Misty terrain, so it's kind of got shafted if you ask me. Like, and not only that, like Swagger itself has gotten, like, the chance of Swagger fusions has gone low significantly. So yeah, so Thundurus, you might see this over with Tapu Koko. Yeah, Tapu Koko might just, because Tapu Koko is just already a good Pokemon. So you might see this version of team with Tapu Koko, and then maybe Tapu Fini just to, like, give you your fairy type or whatever. So yeah, but then again, I'm not really gonna talk too much about it. So, but yeah, I really have not much to say afterwards. So, regarding like VGC like 18. Like just looking at some of the battle spot stuff, usage, I do think that we might see a lot of more, like, we'll see some like interesting combinations, especially once the format's announced. Like, once we know exactly what the Pokemon are, and not to mention once we go deeper into it, like once 2018 like hits and we go deeper into that year, we'll see like more crafted teams. build from the players. So yeah. So thank you guys for watching me ramble a bit. So and hope you guys see you like playing the upcoming formats. So see ya.